Om Gama Ganeshaya Namah. Homosexuality. So, how do we understand from a chart the inclination of a jatak for a particular sex can also be traced uh, and also mentioned also in the classics uh, about this particular yoga. So, imagine I have read BPHS and Parashara was the father of Krishna Daipan, Vedvyas. So, thousands and thousands of years ago, in his BPHs, Maharishi Parashara has given us sutrams to understand the excessive lust yoga from a chart. Now, this particular video is intended for homosexuality, which can be with for both male and female. And what are the sutrams available in the classics? What the Nadi astrology says, that we will try to understand today through some charts. To go further, few things to be understood about the sexuality of a planet. The Jupiter and the Mars and the Sun, these are the male planets. Venus and the Moon are the female planets. Mercury and Saturn are units. Now, Mercury actually, for a male chart, for a male native, this is Bhigunandinari, and whatever I'm telling to everyone, this is mentioned in the classics, as well as about the sex of Rahu and Ketu, it's a Guru Vidya. So, uh, please try to understand what I mean to say. The male planets, the female planets, and the unit planet. The unit planets are Mercury and Saturn, because Mercury and Saturn they take the for a male chart. Mercury is always a like a male and sorry, a female. But if Mercury is with female planet, it acts as a female planet. If it is with a male planet, it will act as a male planet. Same with Saturn. If it is with a female planet, it will act as a female planet. And if it is male, it will act as a male planet. But normally, Mercury for a male chart is considered to be as a woman karaka, friend karaka, boyfriend, girlfriend situation kind of a thing. Similarly, Saturn for a female is considered to be as a male, a normal male. But again, Saturn, if it is with female planet, it will give female characteristic. Male planet, it will get male characteristics. Rahu is male in both, like the female and the male chart. Rahu will be male and Ketu will be again a unit planet. So this is about the sex of the planets, where Jupiter, Mars and Sun are male, Venus and Moon are female, Mercury and Saturn are units, and Rahu is male and Ketu is a unit. So this is about the sex of the planet. Now coming to the extreme last yoga, which is there in the BPHS, if Venus is in Saturn's Navamsha and Saturn is in Venus Navamsha, further, if there is a change or aspects, then it can create an excessive lust. So, if this is a condition that is not going to happen every time, but please understand what the classics want to say. Venus in the for the for the female specifically, Venus in the Saturn Navamsha and Saturn for the in the Venus Navamsha, this gives a very high like extreme aggressive yogas in terms of the sexuality of a female. Similarly, for a female jataka, if Venus is the uh, Lagna rising, Venus sign is a Lagna rising, that means Taurus or Libra if it is rising, and if Capricorn is a Navamsha Lagna rising, for both, like, if there is a chart, you're saying that the Venus Taurus Lagna and Capricorn Navamsha, or Libra Lagna and Capricorn Navamsha, it is also mentioned that this type of individuals are also inclined to extreme lust. That is mentioned in BPHS Sri Jataka chapter. So now, with all this combination, there for homosexuality, why we will be guiding by three major principles that I will try to make explain. So generally, three condition arises to understand this inclination to bi or homosexuality from a native. For a male, the female planets are all weak or not connected to Jupiter, and Jupiter connected only to units or male planets. So this is a Nari Sutrams. Imagine if Jupiter is a Karaka of Jiva. Jiva is the myself Karaka. So in Nari there is a principle: if Saturn is when transiting eighth house from Jupiter, it can even brings death to the native. So Jupiter is the self karaka, the jiva karaka. So if Jupiter is connected only with male planets, or if Jupiter is connected with only with unit planet, two situation can arise. Whether that person is kind of a brahmachari. Secondly, that person can be having some different inclination. Now, if we see that there are lust yogas in the chart, and additionally, uh, Jupiter is not connected to any female planets or only connected to a unit planet, and lust yogas are present in the chart, then the inclination to like towards a definite male kind of a individual may arise for this individual. The second condition is for a female, if the male planets are weak, if the male planets are weak, if the male planets are afflicted or weak and not connected to Venus, and Venus is only connected to female planets and having the last yoga in the chart, this can also gives the similar condition. So if a female planet, like if in a female chart, if you see Venus, Venus is the karak of Jiva for a female. And if that female Venus is only connected to female planets, and but it is not connected to any male planets, or the male planets in the chart are all very weak condition or highly afflicted, then it can happen. She can have the inclination towards a female, provided there are other combinations in the chart. So this is the second condition, which can also bring or take the lady to a like a thought process of homosexuality. Third, the placement of afflicted Saturn and Mercury in the seventh can also give bisexual mentality if the above conditions are met. But this will only happen when the Saturn and the Mercury are afflicted and based in the seventh house. So this can gives a kind of because Saturn and Mercury are both unit planet, and seventh is our desire house. So if both the planets are based out there, it can gives the impotency, that is also possible, or else it can give the the biness, this particular unitness, the biness of that individual, that can also uh, be seen in this type of charts. And lastly, the Hora chart, the D2 chart, actually denotes the Ardhanarishvara. There are two Hora which are rising in the D2 chart. One is a male Hora, which is the Purusha, and there is a female Hora, the Prakriti. Now, if you see that all the planets are placed in one particular Hora, or you see that the male planets are based in the female hora, which is Cancer, and the female planets are based in the male hora, which is Leo, you will understand that this person is having some kind of imbalance in terms of the energies. So you see the female part and the male part, that makes a person, gives his own identity as an individual. But if the the energy distribution, the ardhanarishvara, there is a distributional problems of energy, it can also brings shows that the mental afflictions are there in terms of the energies or the likings. So these are the condition. Now we'll try to see a chart. So this is a chart. So this is a chart. Try to understand, especially from the Nadi principle. So this Jupiter is in the house of Ripu. Sixth house is the house of Shad Ripu. Anyway, the Jupiter is basically connected to Ketu. Jupiter is connected to Mercury. So Ketu is a unit planet as per Nadi, and Mercury is a unit planet as per Nadi. Also, it's singular. Further, you see Saturn and Mercury, there is a Parivartana Yoga. So Saturn is going here and Mercury is coming here. Just a moment, sorry. So Mercury is coming ahead. So that means Jupiter is also connected to Saturn, because Saturn is doing Parivartan, it is going there. So from there, Jupiter is making connection with Saturn. So Jupiter, that means, is connected to Saturn, Mercury, and Ketu only. Further, if we see, the connection is happening between the fifth house, the eighth house, the this particular 12th house. Now, fifth house is the romance house, where there is a unit planet is based. Eighth house is the house of secrets, because this kind of relationships are usually kept secret, especially for an Indian. And 12th house is the house of pleasure. So the combination between the fifth house, sixth house, and 12th house with Jupiter, it can be seen. So this particular combination, and also further, if you see the combination here, this particular Venus Mars in Libra, as we have already discussed in my previous video, whenever like Venus and Mars are present in the Venus sign or the Mars sign, it makes a person highly like aggressive in terms of the this sexual habits. So Venus is with Mars in a Venus sign, and further there is a moon. So Venus moon is also a combination of an extra lust, and Venus Mars is also a combination, and these three is a very big combination. So that means this person is having the lust factor, but that Jupiter is only connected to the units. So this guy, and further also, Saturn Drishti is there in the seventh house. Saturn Drishti is there in the seventh house. In the Navamsha, Jupiter is debilitated, and Saturn Drishti is in the seventh house. So that makes this person totally, in terms of this guy is a gay. This person is a gay. So this is the reason why he's a gay. Let us come to a second chart. Now, this is a chart of a female. This is a chart of a female. If you carefully see, the Mars and the Saturn, a Sun, is there in the fourth house. Now, along with Moon, the fourth house, the planet based in the fourth house, the planet aspect in the fourth house also shapes the character of the individual, because this denotes our mind house, the heart house. What is there in a heart? So this is a family. So this is a very, very important thing also to understand along with Moon. Here, what we see, the Sun is debilitated along with Mars. And Sun you see is 17 degree and Mars is your 18 degree. So practically 1 degree difference. So this Mars is completely combusted. So this makes this house a burning house. Both the male planets and the fourth house is a burning house. The fourth lord, dispositor, who is Venus, he is there in the third house and also debilitated. Jupiter, the other male planet, it is aspected by Rahu. And Jupiter in Leo is not considered to be good. Saturn is there in the seventh house, and Mars is also aspecting the seventh house. So, this practically what we see is that Jupiter gone, Mars gone, Sun gone, and all the male planets are afflicted. Venus moon, as we again are seeing, a Venus and a moon in a Mercury Rashi shows that this lady was born in, under tremendous comforts he has got in his father's house. This yoga gives a, like in Mercury sign, this particular yoga gives abundance, like in the family he has got abundance, pampering and abundance of material comforts in the father house. So this lady was into that kind of a family, and later she got married, and there was a domestic violence, what we can see from this particular chart. Now this lady is now into a relationship with a female. Why? Because Venus is connected to moon. These planets are almost gone. Seventh has a Saturn, and Mars is aspecting the Saturn. So, and Venus is with Moon, and Venus is debilitated. Venus is a lady Karaka, and it is a female planet. In the trine, if you see, Saturn is based there. There is no planet actually helping Venus to get improved. Further, if you go below, we see in the Navamsha, you see in the Navamsha, Venus is there in the Capricorn Amsha. Capricorn Amsha. So, and in the seventh house. So extreme sexuality. The third point, the fourth point which I have mentioned is about the Hora chart. In the Hora chart, you see carefully for this lady, all the planets are there in the moon Hora. All the planets. There is not a single planet in the sun Hora. So the male thing is completely damaged for this lady. She is in a relationship with a female, and somehow that has got like that has creating some issues in the family, and so she's very much depressed and whatever is the thing, but she's a lady who is into a relationship with a lady. So this is a reason behind that. When the male planets are completely weak, female is connected to female. Venus debilitated is not bad in terms of luxuries. It is always a extra indulgence. And whenever Venus is with Moon, Moon is the karaka of sins, cheating. If it is weak, and Venus is the karaka of sex or love. So many a times it is seen that when Moon is with Venus, this type of person are always thinking or romanticizing about love and those kind of things if it is highly afflicted. So here we see that kind of a combination, and whenever the Saturn, the seventh house has got the aspect of the Saturn further in the chart, for especially for the female also, if you have to follow, if Venus is there in the Capricorn specifically, and it creates in terms of different outlook in terms of the uh, life. And Hora chart also here in this chart, which which actually, this is a Prakriti and this is Purusha. So the distribution of the estrogen and the testosterone, that makes a man, that makes a female, that gives a complete balance of energy. Whenever there is a energy difference, it shows that one particular energy is higher, the other is actually zero. So here it is clearly, completely clear that this person is very much only into the female zone. So that is the thing. His male is she's anti kind of a man kind of a feeling. So that is a reason of a the lady has become a this type of a preference. So friends, this is something which you also need to study. So the three conditions I have mentioned in my four conditions. For a male, the female planets are all weak or not connected to Jupiter, and Jupiter only connected to unit of male planets. Female, the male planets to be weak or not connected to Venus, and Venus only connected to female planets. Placement of afflicted Saturn and Mercury in the seventh can give bisexual mentality if the above conditions are met. And the Hora chart is the last one which you need to follow. If all the four inclinations are towards a singularity, then you can clearly predict that this person is into a particular preference. Okay, so thank you very much.